Hi, I'm Ryan with CNR Gaming, and welcome to my 2018 Game Room Tour. Alright guys, well finally I've been able to bring to you guys my Game Room Tour, which we've been talking about, and I'm excited to bring to you. This is a lot of years worth of collecting to be able to get this. Small room, but I think I do a pretty good job with keeping it organized and maximizing space. So we will go ahead and give a real quick panoramic view of the room so that you guys can basically see a quick view of it. And then what I'm going to do is I will go into a little bit more detail here on the different areas. Alright, first up is my GameCube area. I have about 61 GameCube games. Some of them above the TV here on display for the Zelda stuff, but I do kind of Zelda theme the room. So got 4 swords and Nintendo DS Zelda Phantom Hourglass with a retro game treasure box there. Just to help bring it up. I think it makes the game better than just sitting here below it. Down here we have GameCube. I have about 61 GameCube games. The probably rarest games I have here are going to be the Super Smash Bros. Melee and the Skies of Arcadia Legends. So what I'm going to do is I'll try to show you 1 or 2 games from the bigger collections that stand out in the collection there. A couple of extra Zeldas, Ocarina of Time, and the collection edition. So where they had the Master Quest and Ocarina. Next up, above here, we have a Mario section. I also have my NES and SNES Classic boxes. Box of Super Mario cereal, because who doesn't want to have a box of Super Mario cereal in the room? Over on the other side there, we have Donkey Kong. Little amiibo there. Donkey Kong stuffed animal, and Donkey Kong Conga, and an extra bongo set. I did, in my garage sailing, come across an extra bongo set. Below that, we have my Zelda amiibos, and 1 Metroid amiibo. I just really like that other Metroid one, so I went ahead and purchased that one. The Zeldas is just, again, it's more meaningful to me. Growing up, I really enjoyed playing Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past. So I've kind of focused the room around Zelda. Next we have the Nintendo collection. I have 328 Nintendo games currently. One got pushed out there. I alphabetical order them using an app that I have so that I can keep track of what games I have and what I don't. Some of the highlights here is I do have the whole Mega Man collection, and also probably the most rare game that I have for the Nintendo is going to be Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Hillsfar. This cool story was from the first garage sale that I ever went to. Beginner's luck, I guess, but this thing is in immaculate condition. I mean, you can even see the shine. The people that had it previously to me took such good care of it. I mean, I must have had it in a dust-free room. In very good condition. Gotta get this back. There we go. All right, and the next one here is going to probably be Darkwing Duck. That's will probably be my second rarest game out of the Nintendo section. That's a fun game. It's hard. I'm not very good at it. Alright, next over we have the Nintendo 64 collection. I currently have in the Nintendo 64 collection 156 games, which is halfway through the US releases of the game. So I'm literally halfway there. I'll show you guys 1 or 2 of the rare games here. Maybe I'll skip the major game here. But we do have, excuse me if I'm blocking the view, Worms Armageddon. My wife did pick that up for me for, I believe it was Christmas. Yep. So that was very appreciated that she would take the time to go find that game for me. And the other one, if I can find the S section here, it is going to be, who knew it was so expensive? Super Bowling. Super Bowling, a super rare, expensive game. I believe it just because it came down at the end of the life cycle of the 64, but I will hold off on the one rare game for this one section if I do an overview. Next up, we do have my Game Boy section. Now, for the Game Boy, I don't necessarily focus on collecting the Game Boy's collection too much. I do have some Game Boy games inside of the cases, which are a little bit below there. And then I also keep my cleaning supplies over here. We also have the Switch games in the middle, and the Video Games Monthly area right here, where I just kind of keep the little freebies just for decoration. That'll be there until I lose the room. Lose space there, need more room. Now below here we do have the Super Nintendo collection. Probably the most rare game out of the Super Nintendo collection is going to be Dracula X for Castlevania series. This one's really brutally hard too. And if I ever do another... Ooh, having some troubles here. I'll set these here for now. But if I do a Super Nintendo overview, I will then go ahead and maybe show you some extra rare games out of there. And if you'd like to see anything specific, please stay tuned to the end of the video for those that will be rewarded to stay to the end and or got to this point. Alright, next we have, I do collect autographs, mostly baseball, specifically the Chicago Cubs, but I do play fantasy football, so that's another love of mine, is fantasy football. And I did win a league of mine that I play in with some friends twice, and I used the winnings there to buy the case and the Drew Brees jersey out of that, because he was on my team for both championships, so it kind of have a sentimental value there. So that can always remind me of my 16-team win fantasy football league. Below that, I do have some autographs here from wrestlers. Some I pulled out of boxes here with Asuka, Trish Stratus, John Cena, Mick Foley, and Finn Balor. I don't collect a ton of them, but if I get a good one, I'll hold on to it. On the left of that, I have my trophy for being a great dad, and my PUBG beanie. And a little Bad Dudes video arcade. Got that from Toys R Us, so I can say that's the last thing I ever purchased from Toys R Us. Got Yarny here, which my wife loves Yarny. I have a Jose Quintana autograph. We got that from a recent trip to Chicago. And a Kerry Wood autograph, which again, I'm into the Cubs autographs. So I got Quintana in person. Kerry Wood I actually got from a TriStar random box, where you buy a box and get a random Cubs autograph on a baseball. And I got Kerry, so I was pretty excited for that. Could have done a lot worse. Next up here, we have Florida State. I am a big Florida State Seminole fan. Autograph of Bobby Bowden, and me and my wife at the Orange Bowl when they played NIU in a Cinderella versus Goliath matchup, and the Goliath won. So above that, we have as a little bit extra Cubs section. Some of that was the World Champions DVD my wife bought me, Blu-ray. Next is Jason Hayward there, bobblehead that we got from the most recent bobblehead giveaway up at Wrigley when we traveled up there for vacation. This is a picture from me and my wife's first trip to Wrigley. They played Cincinnati Reds, so it's pretty cool that they would take pictures for you. Alright, so let's get to the games here. We have my Xbox 360 collection, which I currently have 204 games. Now, while none of them are particularly rare per se, because 360 isn't really rare, I will say I recommend shooting for these when you go garage selling, because one day they will be rare, because they're not old school enough yet, but they will be one day. And you can get them super cheap at garage sales while you're out there hunting. So I would buy a bundle of them and probably usually get Grand Theft Auto 5 in there and kind of try to trade that towards either getting my money back that I paid for the day, and or trading it towards other Nintendo games to add to my collection. So basically the 360 games really do well to keep the collection going. so not using as much house money keeps my wife happy. Next up is my Xbox One games, so these are obviously more current games. Next below that we have the Xbox original games. I currently have 31 of those. I haven't really focused on them too much, and I haven't had very good luck with conditioning, and I try to keep the games that are in real good condition. Xbox original games, I seem to come across lots of scratched games, so they didn't make it into the collection. Next up, I have the Sega Master System. It is roughly about 19 where I'm at. I do enjoy Double Dragon for the Sega Master System. I did play this in the arcade quite a bit growing up. This was one of my favorite games. The card. Many quarters were put into that. To have the Sega CD games here. Now I have two games, two extra cases coming in. One for Willie Beamish and one for Final Fight CD, which I was very happy to come by. When I say I come by, I really meant my wife went garage sailing for me and she found it. She didn't even know it was in the case until she was on her way back, and she noticed that they had an extra game in there, and so there's a Final Fight in there in that little case. As soon as my better case comes in, I'm gonna put it in that one. The boxed games, I try to keep them all boxed, but the ones with cardboard that those two came in, I prefer just probably to have replica boxes. I think it looks nicer and it will probably keep them a little bit more safe. Some other ones you have here is Spider-Man and the Kingpin, Mickey Mania, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, Sonic CD, which is a great game. I think I have about 13 Genesis games down there. Just your Echo the Dolphin, Cyberball, Batman Returns, some Sonic 1, 2, and 3. I do have some Dreamcast down there on the left. Those are going to be, I think the big two out of that one is Shenmue and Marvel vs. Capcom. And the big game out of this whole wall to me is Dragon Force for the Sega Saturn. I really enjoy this game. I played this in my late teens. It is a fantastic strategy game. I probably pull it out at least once a year and play it. So it's a great game, highly recommended. It's a little bit pricey, but it's not too bad. Hard to come by Sega Saturn games in the wild. Next up, we got Jamal Charles autographed jersey and a nice Kansas City Chiefs case with his name on it. I won that jersey from NFL.com straight through a fantasy football league that I played and won, of course. So the winner of that league got to pick a jersey, and just so happened Jamal Charles has been on almost all my fantasy championship teams that I've had, so I had to, him and Drew Brees, so kind of in honor of those two guys, I got two jerseys there. As we talked about before, I am a big wrestling fan. WWE.com has these nice plaques. Now I live in Florida, and I did go to the WrestleMania at Orlando, and where Goldberg and Brock Lesnar fought. I did attend there. So that came with an autographed picture and a piece of the mat, or the rope, and it was limited to 500. And I was lucky enough to get a really, really good deal on Black Friday, and so I was excited to have that. His autograph's not easy to get, so to have it at a really good price, I was happy. Up here we get some of the Spyro Star Wars characters. Little droids, their phone apps control, and they're really good for decoration. Superhero movies and superhero cartoon movies, and some of the statues that my daughter Cassie bought me for Christmases. So next below that is a bobblehead and Wolverine, and some Age of Apocalypse and Wolverine trade backs. Alright, so now we get to the systems and the TV. So I have three TVs in here because I don't like too much clutter, so I try to push it around as much as I possibly can so that they're separated. Here we have the NES Classic. I have a Wii U, 360 R2-D2 version, the original Xbox that's modded actually for arcade games, an Xbox original, a PlayStation 3, and a PlayStation 2. And the original Xbox is the Halo Collector's Edition. Next up is more of my old school games. With we got a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the Jungle Green Nintendo 64, the GameCube. Below that we have the Sega games with the Dreamcast, the Saturn, the Sega Genesis with the CD attachment, and the Master System. Now these are all on Switch boxes, so it's really easy for me to switch consoles to games. I tried to make it as convenient as possible, so when I'm cleaning and testing or just sitting down to enjoy a game, that it makes it as easy as possible on me. Next up, I have my current gaming section, and so I have the Switch right here on top. I got the Super Nintendo Classic, DirecTV box. Do have another Switch box here. Below that, I have the Retron 5, just in case I want to play old games on this TV. The Xbox One X, a PlayStation 4 Pro. And below that, I kind of keep all my chargers. I found this to be the best area to keep them, so I don't have to use batteries on these controllers, and just convenient to have them right next to the TV. On the right of that, I have my PlayStation section. I don't really collect PlayStation as much. I do have the PlayStation 4 games, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2 and 1 games all in this area. Probably the best game there out of that rarest, Final Fantasy VII down there in the PlayStation 1 section. And then I do have the VR with the 2 joysticks there. It's better than, I gotta say, the VR is actually much better than I thought it was going to be. It's kind of a pain to drag it out, I will admit that, but when you do put it on, you're playing. It's actually pretty fun. Up here I have kind of my Zelda section, to where, again, Zelda kind of made an impact on me growing up, so try to honor that as much as I can here and bring back memories for me. I've got a couple, or on the left side here I got the shield. But ordered that off of Amazon. We got the 2 statues here from Best Buy, some loose amiibos, and then I tried to put the games here in the order of the release for the big consoles. For the Nintendo, so you got Legend of Zelda, Adventures of Link, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker for the GameCube, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and of course the new Breath of the Wild, which is completely amazing. And above that, I have a replica Twilight Princess sword. Got that off of Amazon as well. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video today, and because this collection means a lot to me, and I know I've been asked quite a few times to do a collection overview. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to watch the video. For those that have made it this far, for the first person that makes a comment below that would like to see a particular section of the game room as far as the games shown a little bit more, I'll be happy to do an overview. So the very first person to it, I will work on that video. Don't promise when it comes out, but I will work on it. So again, thank you so much for taking the time. Please comment, let me know what you think, let me know any ideas that you have. You think I can organize anything in the room to make it a little bit more convenient for me, let me know. Or if you have just any general ideas or anything that you guys would like to see, feel free to leave in the comment section below. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I hope everyone has a great week.